Guys, it's Houston Sports Talk back into the video today. And today, it's time for NBA recap time. It's great, number one, to have basketball back. But it's also great to do these NBA recap videos. I mean, for the last 2 seasons, maybe 2.5 seasons, I think. I think it's the last 2 seasons. I've been doing these NBA recap videos where I recap and give all my thoughts from every single game on the NBA slate every day. And throughout the off season, when those videos stop, and it's the NBA content is more like off season stuff. And then when we get back into the regular season, it feels so good to get to do this stuff again, because it's like for so many months from October to, because I do it in the playoffs as well, to June, it's a daily routine. But then, it's gone once you get to the summer, although I love making off-season videos as well. But it's great to have basketball back. Opening night, Celtics, Knicks, Lakers, Timberwolves. I will say, to me, and this is the way I've always felt about it, I know this is considered opening night. That's what it is, because it's the first game of it's the first games of the season. But to me, tomorrow is the real opening night for me. Not only does my favorite team play tomorrow, the Houston Rockets, and that's not the main reason why I say tomorrow's the real opening night for me, but the real opening night to me is where tomorrow we're going to see 10 games. We're going to see we're going to see 20 teams play. Sometimes it's more on the opening Wednesday. Sometimes it's 11 or 12, or sometimes 13 games. Usually it's in the area of 11 to 13 games. It's a little bit less than usual at 10. So 10 games tomorrow. That's the real opening night for me, is seeing 10 games happen in one night. It's great to see these great teams play, like Boston and New York and Minnesota and LA, and we get to watch some great players like Jason Tatum, Jalen Brunson, LeBron and AD, and Anthony Edwards get to play. Jaylen Brown as well. And that's obviously great. We get to see the inside NBA crew like Shaq and Charles Barkley and Ernie Johnson and Kenny Smith. It's so great to have my favorite comedy show back. And but tomorrow, I think as an NBA just aspect of it, watching all these games, tomorrow's the real opening night for me, getting to watch 10 games in one night. So yeah, I'm excited for tomorrow as well. But we're gonna cover tonight's games, Boston and New York. The first game was kind of a snooze fest. I mean, and honestly, early on, I knew for the Celtics, okay, it's gonna be that type of night. I knew at the point of where I think it was 11-9 or 11-8, and the Celtics were hitting shot after shot, and the Knicks had to take a timeout. And I looked at it, and it was not even 3 minutes into the basketball game. I remember it was 9 minutes and 26 seconds. Not even 3 minutes in. It's 2 minutes and 46 seconds, 44. 2 minutes and 44 seconds into the ball game. You have New York calling a timeout because Boston is that hot, and you got 11 points. And New York wasn't doing too bad, but defensively they were doing bad. I mean, New York actually had a decent amount of points on their end as well. I think they had about 8 or 9. But with the way the shots were falling early on for Boston, I thought about it. I'm like, I thought at the timeout break, I'm thinking, you project that. I mean, if they keep it up. They score 44 points in the quarter if they keep it up. That could be on more. Just thinking about it, because you score 11 points for every 3 minutes in the quarter. That's 44 points. And at that point, I thought, okay, I think Boston's probably going to score 40, if not near 40, probably exactly 40 points in the quarter. They ended up scoring 43 in the quarter. And I honestly thought after the fourth quarter, I honestly thought New York was gonna not come back and win the game, but I thought the game would start to move towards the Knicks' favor get the game closer. I thought Boston would end up calming down just a tiny bit, where New York could maybe get it to a 10-point game or 8-point game. I still thought Boston would win, but I thought New York would be able to get that lead down and cut it to 10 or cut it at just the most to 8. Just get it to the point where it's a meaningful game. I thought Boston would calm down a little bit and New York would be able to get into the rhythm just to get back to that point, but that did not happen. The second quarter was kind of even. Both teams scored 31, but the second quarter, Boston just took off again. Outscored them by 7, near another 40-point quarter. And it was 40, near 40, 39 points in the third quarter. The fourth quarter was really the only bad quarter for the Celtics in this ballgame. 29 threes for Boston. Tied a NBA record. And so that was obviously amazing. Now, the only thing that was bad about it was that Boston ended up trying to go in and break that record and become the new team that has the record, and missed 13 straight threes in the fourth quarter to try to get that record. If Boston wasn't chunking threes in the fourth quarter, they might have reached up 150 in this game, or near 150. Because they only scored 19 points in the fourth quarter because they were just chucking threes trying to get that record. But anybody saying, why did the Celtics not have their starters on the floor to get the record? Number one, it would be so stupid to risk one of their key players to get injured when just for some stupid record that they already tied in the first place. The record is theirs. To me, the record is theirs. They ended up tying the record. It's not officially theirs, but they're the latest team to get that, so they tied the record. That's it's not like they were one short of tying it. They ended up tying it. What you really want to do is break it, but the important thing is that they tied it, and it would have been so stupid to bring in their starters. And the other thing is arguably, they had their two best three-point shooters on the floor, even though their starters were off the floor. You have guys like Sam Hauser and Peyton Pritchard on the floor in that time. Should be easy. It should be easy. Peyton Pritchard and Sam Hauser were having excellent shooting nights in the game. Peyton Pritchard, I think was like 1 for 3 or 1 for 2 from 3 before all the fourth quarter three-point shots. And Sam Hauser was like 2 for 4 or 2 for 5 from 3 before all the trying all the 3-point shots at the end of the game. Sam Hauser shot over 40% from 3 last season. Peyton Pritchard shot nearly 40% from 3. Peyton Pritchard shot 50% from 3 in the postseason. In the preseason, these are guys that Boston relies on the most to knock down threes. Sure, you have guys like Derek White, Drew Holiday, Jaylen Brown, Al Horford, and Jason Tatum. They're starters who can knock these threes down. But they had 2 guys in the game like Peyton Pritchard and Sam Hauser, who are 2 of their most reliable guys to knock down a 3. And neither of them can do it to break that record. But yeah, so let's go over some of the Celtics scoring in this game. 24 points for Derek White, 3 rebounds, 4 assists. He was just phenomenal. 6 for 10 from 3. 2 for 2 at the free throw line. He was 8 for 13 from the floor. Jaylen Brown was fantastic, 23 points, 7 rebounds, 1 assist, 5 for 9 from 3. He 4 for 4 at the free throw line, 7 for 18 shooting. Jason Tatum was the big part of this game, though. Jason Tatum, 37 points, 10 assists, 4 rebounds. This is a great performance for Jason Tatum. The thing that makes it most impressive for me is that Tatum only played 30 minutes in this basketball game. You're looking at the average starter probably getting 35 to 38 minutes. The average superstar getting 35 to 38 minutes in a basketball game, but if not more. But because of this game being a blowout, he only played 30 minutes. Honestly, we could have seen Jason Tatum maybe get 50, and I don't know about 50, but I think Jason Tatum would have reached 45 if this was a closer game, and Tatum plays his probably normal minutes of the area of 34 to 38, something like that. And this was that type of night for Jason Tatum. 14 for 18, 37 points, 4 rebounds, 10 assists. And the one thing I love about what we've seen Jason Tatum improve on is getting a bunch of, he's always been able to get assists, but, get into the double digit of assists. I mean, last season, in the regular season, we only saw Jason Tatum get double-digit assists one time. But in the playoffs, how many times did he do that? 3. He did it in the playoffs 3 times. What does he do in regular season? Game 1, double-digit assists. I think we're going to see it way more often than he did last year and in the postseason combined. Jason Tatum, first game of the season, already has the same amount of double-digit assist games that he did last year. I think that's going to be a big part of Jason Tatum's season this year. But he was phenomenal. 8 for 11 from 3. He was drilling it. Big reason why the Celtics were able to tie that record. Big Al Horford was fantastic as well, starting center with Porzingis out. 11, 3, and 5. 3 rebounds, 5 assists. You would have thought he'd had more rebounds than assists, but nope. 4 for 7 from the floor, 3 for 5 from 3. Drew Holiday, 18 points, 4 rebounds, 4 assists, 4 for 6 from 3. That's it for starters. 10 points for Sam Hauser, 5 rebounds, 1 assist. Pritchard had 3 points, 4 rebounds, 4 assists in 24 minutes. 17 minutes for Xavier Tillman. He was actually, I think, he was tied with Jaylen Brown for rebounding tonight, although Xavier Tillman's rebounding was a little bit more impressive. He had 7 rebounds in 17 minutes compared to Brown's 7 rebounds in 29 minutes. 2 assists as well for Tillman, 2 points. He also tried to get involved in the breaking record, but went 0 for 3 from 3, went 1 for 6 from the floor. Luke Cornett, big Luke Cornett, 15 minutes, 4 points, 3 rebounds with Porzingis injured and Horford starting. Cornett's the backup center. They re-signed him to a deal, and he looked good. 15 minutes, 2 for 3, 4 points, 3 rebounds, 1 assist. That was really it for Boston, though. For the Knicks, Brunson was good, but limited minutes, 24 minutes, 22 points, and another superstar that's low minutes because it's a blowout. 1 rebound, 2 assists. Karl-Anthony Towns, not a terrible debut. Honestly, one thing I will say, one complaint about Karl-Anthony Towns, even though it was only 23 minutes, want him to shoot the basketball more. Brunson played the same amount of minutes, took 14 shots. Bridges played a little bit more than Towns and Brunson, 13 shots. OG Anunoby, 7 shots. Hart, 6 shots. I know that's less than Towns, but I feel like Towns should be shooting the basketball more. He wasn't doing bad. 5 for 9, 12 points, 7 rebounds, 3 assists. I know those numbers don't look great. For only 23 minutes, this is a guy who should be averaging, as a star, should be averaging in the area of 33 to 35, maybe if not more minutes a night. So, this would be like if he played only 3/4 of a basketball game instead of the fourth quarter. So, not a bad debut for Karl-Anthony Towns. It's also new. It's his first game of a new team when he's been with an organization for so long. So he has to adapt to this as well. And I thought it was impressive. Mikal Bridges, 7 for 13, 16 points. He had 0 rebounds, 2 assists, 2 for 7 from 3. Bridges looked awful to start off, but in the second half, something kind of changed for him, and I hope it continues because I did not like the Bridges I saw in the first half. I thought it kind of hurt them a little bit, to be honest. Mainly in that first half with the way he played, but he picked it up in the second half. That was big for them, and they're going to need that from him, and they cannot have that first half Bridges we saw. Second half Bridges, 16 points, 7 shots made. I think he was probably at least he was probably 7 for 8 or 7 for 9 in the second half. That's the type of player that the Knicks traded for. That's the type of player that the Knicks need in order to be a top team in the Eastern Conference. OG, 4 points, 5 rebounds, 3 assists. Bad shooting night, 1 for 7. 0 for 4 from 3. We'll see if he can get it going. 4 for 6 for Josh Hart. 12 points, 4 rebounds, 3 assists. The highlight of the night for the Knicks, though, tonight was Deuce McBride. 8 for 10, 22 points, 2 assists, 4 for 5. I thought that Deuce would get an increased role after trading Dante DiVincenzo. I think anybody could have assumed that. And I think he's going to have a big season. I know it's game 1, but, I don't, just me personally, I think the Knicks have a very strong starting lineup, but I don't think the Knicks really have that much of a strong bench. I think he's going to be a key favorite this year for 6th Man of the Year. My favorites going into this year was Former New York Knick Dante DiVincenzo, another Minnesota Timberwolf like Naz Reid, also Malik Monk. But I see Deuce McBride potentially being in the conversation for that Sixth Man of the Year award. Campaign had 11 points and 3 rebounds with 4 assists off the bench. Not bad for him. Outside of McBride and Payne, there wasn't a lot of scoring off the bench. I mean, Sims had a good night, 2 for 3, 4 rebounds, 9 rebounds. Not a lot of scoring for Sims in 24 minutes. Only main thing he did that was good was his rebounding in this game. He also did have 2 blocks, so Sims looks good as the backup center is now, but not much offensively, mainly just rebounding and defensively for what he did. But yeah, so that really recaps the Knicks Celtics game. I wouldn't overreact to the Knicks game 1. I mean, look, it's number 1. It's the Boston Celtics. This is not a normal championship Boston Celtics team. They're not normal. They're a normal championship team who is appreciated and is not throughout the whole offseason has their star players talked being all being negative about Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum, would come in tonight not really having an edge on their shoulders. Their mindset would be, okay, we're NBA champions, we're not doubted. We're gonna go out and play a good game tonight, but we don't have something to prove. But no, what happened this offseason? Jaylen Brown was snubbed. Well, let's be honest. It started off with Jason Tatum being snubbed for the Finals MVP. I love Jaylen Brown. He had a good series against Dallas. Jason Tatum, in my opinion, had the better series in that NBA Finals. It started with Jason Tatum getting snubbed for Finals MVP. And all this kind of, everybody, the media tries to create this, this tension between the two stars. Then what happens? One star gets snubbed from Finals MVP. Brown gets his Finals MVP. What happens after that? Jaylen Brown gets snubbed from the USA team. So he has this motivation now. Tatum has a motivation. I don't think Tatum really cares, but Tatum didn't win Finals MVP. That kind of starts it. I don't think that's a big issue. Brown has a big motivation because he didn't make Team USA, and they picked 2 of his other teammates, Derek White and Drew Holiday, to be on that team instead of him. And also, you got the fact that Jason Tatum on that same Team USA team, a NBA champion, considered one of the best players in basketball, gets straight DNPs by Steve Kerr. Steve Kerr, that was a bad decision because Jason Tatum looked phenomenal in this game. And if he's going to play like this every night with, a chip on his shoulder, we can all blame Steve Kerr. So this is not a normal Celtics championship team. This is a Celtics team that has, number 1, they have firepower. They are a great basketball team, but they have 2 stars who both got snubbed in the last couple months. Tatum for Finals MVP. Tatum from getting minutes. Jaylen Brown from being on the USA team in general. Both of these guys have something to prove, and they did it tonight against the New York Knicks team. And I'll give the Knicks a little bit of a defense here. That's tough to go up against and on the road in Boston. But the other thing for me is that this is a brand new New York Knicks team. Expect chemistry issues in the first game. You have a new addition in Mikal Bridges. You have Karl-Anthony Towns, who's brand new. He got traded to New York after training camp, or in the middle of training camp. You look at the rest of this team. Campaign is a new addition from the draft. Diate, the shooting guard they drafted in the first round, played 13 minutes in this game. He's a rookie. This is a new team. Outside of Brunson and Josh Hart and OG Anunoby, who hasn't played with a lot of these guys and was injured a lot last year, this is a new team. There's, Sims, I guess, and you have McBride, you still have Hart, you still have Brunson, you still have OG, who barely played with New York last year, and you still have Sims, but this is like half of the team was not on the team last year. So it's going to take a couple games for this team to get it together. All right, Lakers, Timberwolves. Lakers win 110-103 over the Timberwolves. Great win for the Lakers. I think the scary thing for me with the Lakers, in this game that I realize is that The Lakers did good things in this game. The Lakers were great defensively. They had a combined 15 steals and blocks. AD was fantastic. He had 36 and 16. He had a great defensive performance with 3 blocks and 1 steal. But the Lakers didn't play their best ball game tonight, and they still beat a good Minnesota team. The Lakers, it's game 1, and I think it's safe to say they probably had their worst three-point shooting season. Their worst three-point shooting game of the season. I honestly don't see 81 games left. I still don't think the Lakers will have a worse three-point shooting game than they did tonight. 5 for 30, not even 17%, 16.7% from 3 for the Lakers. So I don't think it can get much worse than that unless they shoot 10%, which is. If 16% is really bad, it's gonna be hard for them to have a game where they only shoot 10% from 3. But so they shot bad from 3. LeBron didn't play his best basketball either. Like, LeBron wasn't terrible, but LeBron only scored 16 points. You would think if LeBron's gonna score 16 points in a game, you expect LeBron to be big on the assists and rebounding end. That wasn't the case. 5 rebounds, 4 assists. LeBron did not have a big impact on this game. He did good things. He had 2 blocks, but LeBron wasn't at his best ability in this game. Their best shooters, Austin Reeves and D'Angelo Russell, combined for 1 for 12 3-point shooting. As a team, they shot 5 for 30. So they did good things. Rui was fantastic. AD was fantastic. Jackson Hayes was fantastic off the bench. I thought Dalton Kennett brought a very good energy as a rookie in his first game in low minutes. Missing anybody else? I mean, Reeves, outside of his poor 3-point shooting, I thought was terrific. The big things from Reeves tonight was like how he went out there and got 9 rebounds. Reeves is capable of getting a high rebound game. But it's not often where you see Reeves this aggressive in the offensive rebound category. It was 4 offensive rebounds for Austin Reeves in this game. So that's really impressive to me for Austin Reeves. And so he was really aggressive. He scored 12 points. Reeves, outside of his 3-point shooting struggles, shot 6 for 9. D'Lo, outside of his 3-point shooting struggles, shot he shot 3 for 5. So the 3-point shooting struggles and LeBron not playing his best basketball. A game like this for the Lakers last season, where you're playing a great team like the Timberwolves, and you have Anthony Davis having to do all the work, and LeBron's not having the game he should be having, and they're shooting terrible from 3. The Lakers are going to get their butts whooped by Minnesota, but by honestly any good team. But that was kind of different because I think the Lakers have improved defensively. I think the coaching is different. I think, look, no disrespect to Darvin Ham, but I think the coaching is better and it's different. And I don't expect the Lakers' 3-point shooting to stay this bad, and I don't expect LeBron to continue to not be as effective as he was tonight. LeBron's going to get more into the mix as the games go on. So once that happens, with the way Anthony Davis is playing, with what we saw from Rui, with what we saw from Reeves and Russell outside of their 3-point shooting struggles, if those two guys pick it up from 3, if LeBron gets it going, offensively with facilitating and scoring the basketball, Davis and Rui keep it up, and they get some. They continue to get some nice production off the bench like they've been doing, and they're just like they did in this game with Dalton Kennett getting some good shots up, and Gabe Vincent doing some solid things, and Jackson Hayes with 10 and 4 in 15 minutes. He looked really good. This Lakers team, if they can get to the best ability, which means their 3-point shooting is better than what we saw tonight, and LeBron is playing better basketball, if this is the way they play tonight, beating a Timberwolves team, I can't imagine how solid they could be when playing their best basketball, meaning LeBron's playing better, Russell and Reeves are shooting the ball better, and the team is shooting better as a whole from 3. So, because I think JJ Redick being the head coach, such a great 3-point shooter like Redick, a guy that loves shooting the basketball, he's going to want the Lakers to keep shooting. I mean, 30 attempts for the Lakers compared to last year's team, that's high compared to the Lakers team last year. So I expect them to keep shooting the basketball. They'll get it going. I think eventually Reeves and Russell will get it going. I'm going to make a prediction that guys off the bench like Gabe Vincent and Dalton Connect get it going from outside. And I think this Lakers team could be really solid if they stay healthy and they keep it up. Got to get guys that are injured like Christian Wood and Jared Vanderbilt healthy as well. And now Minnesota, it's similar. For me, it's similar to New York. This is a new team as well, as they were literally a trade partner of New York. I mean, Randall's new. That's one thing. So essentially, you got your supposed to be second best offensive player next to Anthony Edwards, or your best offensive player outside of Anthony Edwards, who's new and with the new offense, and it's their first real game together. You have Dante DiVincenzo, who did look good with 10 points, 3 rebounds, and 3 assists, but he's getting a bunch of minutes off the bench. With 31 minutes, he's new. It's his first real game with the squad. A guy like Joe Ingles, who played 7 minutes in this game, he's a veteran who's new to the team. So there are sure a lot of guys that were on the team last year. They played with each other, like Anthony Edwards and Rudy Gobert and Conley and Jaden McDaniels, who, keep in mind, Jaden McDaniels and Conley did not play a lot in this game because Conley struggled. He only played 20 minutes. I think he was on a little bit of a minute restriction. McDaniels got in foul trouble. He had 5 fouls. He only played 16 minutes. So that led to more minutes for Nickeil Alexander-Walker, who thrived with 14 points and 5 rebounds. He was a part of the team last year, but more minutes for the newcomer, Dante DiVincenzo. And also, they needed to rely more on another new player, and Julius Randle. These are good players. It's not like you don't know if they can play good, but as a team, it's going to take them, just like it will take the Knicks, a couple games to get their chemistry going and play to their highest level. I expect both Minnesota and New York to play a little bit sloppy to start off the year. These are two teams that aren't going to play like this forever. They're not going to struggle like this forever. They're gonna figure it out because there's a little bit of a new roster going on for both these teams. I'm not trying to discredit the Lakers or the Celtics. I thought both teams looked good tonight. The Celtics looked amazing. The Lakers looked good. The Lakers didn't look amazing. The Lakers looked good to get a win and do some good things when there was a lot of struggles tonight for the Lakers. To still get a win with the amount of struggles they had and to have a good defensive performance, that was good for the Lakers. And like I've mentioned, if you can get it going with some of the other things that they struggled on in this game and keep some of the things up, like the defensive success and Rui and AD with the way they played, and you match that with LeBron picking it up and Reeves and Russell and their entire three-point shooting picking it up, the Lakers could be a solid team this year. Let me know your thoughts on today's NBA games in the comment section, and peace out.